Hi guys, welcome to another Insights video session, and my name is Sudeep. I'm a faculty at Insights. So I hope everyone is doing fine. I hope everyone is staying home and staying safe, and please make sure that you take care of your health. Okay. Now coming to the the session of the day that we are going to discuss is what should be the strategy for you to prepare yourself in the time gap between prelims and mains. Post prelims, you'll get 3 months period. So how do you go about your mains preparation? So what happens is a lot of students used to ask this question both from our offline Insights community as well as our online students. So we thought that we'll make a video on it that will help most of you people. Okay. So let us get on with it. Let us see how to go about things. Now before we get into how to strategize for the 3 months period, it is necessary for you people to know some generic knowledge about your mains preparation. Okay. Most of you people might have have some knowledge about this, but it is necessary to have an idea about this and then jump into the strategy. Okay. So basically the first thing is the importance of note making. Okay. The importance of note making is most underrated, but please make sure that note making is one of the most important aspects of your preparation. Okay. Some people will overdo it and some people will underrate it. So you have to find the right balance. Okay. Now in Insights, the strategy is mainly if we take a syllabus. If I take a syllabus, I can you know that syllabus is given in bullet points, correct? So I can classify that particular bullet points into two types. Okay. I can classify it as topic based bullet points. Okay. I can classify it as descriptive like bullet points. Got it? So what is topic based bullet points? Topic based is mainly if that bullet point is a particular topic, for example, self-help group or effects of globalization on society. So these are all topics. Okay. So we can segregate such bullet points as topic based bullet points. And then there is something called descriptive like bullet points. Okay. This is if you take GS1, there is a bullet point that is given in UPSC. That bullet point itself constitutes the entire world history. Okay. There will be another bullet point. That bullet point itself will constitute the entire modern India. Okay. Such bullet points are usually descriptive like bullet points. Okay. So if you classify your entire syllabus into topic based and descriptive like bullet points, you have to know how to make your notes. Okay. Now I'll give you just a brief overview of how topic based bullet points notes needs to be done. For example, let us take SHG, self-help groups. So if you take self-help groups, obviously you are going to go to Google and then you are going to type self-help groups. What strategy that we would like to tell is self-help group space Insights secure. So once you type such search query in your Google search engine, you will get a lot of links, correct? So in that links, try to choose the top 3 links or 4 links, open it, download the synopsis. So you have enough content on SHGs. With this enough content, you can prepare your own notes. Okay. So that is one way to go about it. Alright. Now when you are preparing, let us, I'm again coming back to self-help group. When you are preparing for self-help group, always have it in your mind. Now you have downloaded 3 to 4 synopsis. All the synopsis is talking about self-help group. The data is there in a very random manner and everything is scattered. Now when you are putting all this data into your one particular notes, have it in your mind that you should have it in your mind that you are making these notes to write just a 15 marker. You are not trying to do a research on self-help groups. That is first thing. The second thing is try to make that notes in a structured format. Okay. Always make sure that the notes is in a structured format. Alright. For example, now if I take self-help group and if I am making notes, I am going to write, okay, let us say from that synopsis, 5 synopsis that I have downloaded from Google, I am going to make a notes in such a way that first I will try to put some definition, 1 or 2 definition of what self-help group is all about. Okay. Or I will talk about some factual information about self-help groups. So that acts as an introduction to an answer if asked in UPSC. The next is coming to different dimensions that I can add. One is I can talk about the positives of self-help group. Then I can talk about the challenges of self-help group. Then I can talk about the government initiatives for self-help group. Then I can talk about some examples, success stories of self-help groups. So like that, under each broad subheadings, you try to add 6 points or 5 points and go. You have to keep it in mind that you need enough content for a 15 marker. So if you create a structured notes in a way where your self-help group topic will cover around, let us say 250 to 300 words, that is enough. Okay. So that is how you have to tackle the topic based bullet points. Got it? So any topic based bullet points you take, try to take it, search it in Google with respect to Insights secure. That is one way to do it. Then download whatever content is there and then you create your note from those content. Okay. So it may take, let us say 1.5 to 2 hours to do this, but once you are done with it, that particular bullet point is done. And that is your notes that you are going to keep revising again and again, irrespective of what question UPSC asks over the topic. For example, now if you, whatever questions that UPSC asks over self-help group, you will only have to shuffle the points here and there and write that answer. So more or less you have prepared your answer even before going to the exam on that particular topic. So that is one way of going about note making for topic based bullet points. Okay, this is the first strategy. The next is descriptive like bullet points. This I told you, right? So mainly these are bullet points where it constitutes one entire book. It is not a one topic. For example, it may be world history, it may be modern India, or it may be in GS2 there are bullet points. For example, it covers the entire parliament chapter. Okay, so how to go about these things? Alright, now see, the best scenario for you people to approach such type of note making for such bullet points is, see, everyone would have studied Spectrum, correct? You people know Spectrum, Modern India. Now after Modern India, once you read Modern India and once you go to the last 2 pages, he will summarize the entire chapter in just 2 to 3 pages. Okay, so that should be the strategy more or less for you to make notes for this descriptive like bullet points. Got it? So in descriptive like bullet points, what you should do mainly is, you should read the chapter and after the chapter make a notes not extending more than 2 pages. Okay, all you have to see is the heading, subheading and keywords. That's all should be there. So the moment you are coming back to revise, let us say you have prepared a notes on Modern India, chapter wise you have prepared 2 pages, and let us say there are 20 chapters. So you have around 40 to 50 pages. Let us assume that you took 60 pages, not an issue. So you should be in a stage where you are going to study for, let us say, 4 to 5 hours and you are going to finish Modern India from mains perspective. Got it? So that is how you need to approach the descriptive like bullet points. Got it? So this is the importance of note making. Please see, the importance of note making is it helps you to filter out unwanted things. It helps you to keep revising again and again, which is the key to mains exam. Okay, mains is all about how fast you can recollect and you can write an answer there. Okay, if you are planning or if you are thinking that I am going to go to the exam and all the 20 questions I am going to make up an answer there and write, then you have lost the game there itself. Your main strategy should be, most of the questions I have already prepared my answers even before going to the exam, but there will be 5 questions or 4 questions where I have to prepare an answer there in sitting in the exam. So that should always be the strategy, and that can be a strategy if you have prepared the notes on the basis of bullet points. Okay, if you observe one certainty in mains, unlike prelims, is if you are prepared on every bullet point and if you see the question paper and analyze the previous year question paper, every bullet point will have some relevant question regarding that, right? So if you see the previous year question paper and analyze every bullet point, there will be one question coming from every bullet point in the syllabus. So let us say that there are 18 bullet points in GS2 and you are prepared on all the 18 bullet points. So invariably you are prepared around 14 to 15 questions, answers to 14, 15 questions even before going to the exam. So that is the strategy that you need to follow, and for that strategy you need to have the notes and you need to keep repeating it many number of times. Okay, so this is more or less the importance of note making. Finally, I have told you structured notes is very important. Are you getting it? So don't just keep dumping a lot of data from different sources. You should always follow a structured format. I gave you an example of self-help groups. So I had a structure there. So whatever questions UPSC asks, I will try to shuffle the points here and there, but more or less that structure in my notes will always be there, and that is what will reflect in my answer as well. Okay, so that is one. And next thing is, you should just know enough to write a 15 marker. See, this is the most important part in your note making. What happens is, usually you are so overwhelmed by so much information around you that you start taking so many information and writing it in your notes. Some people will even do the mistake of replicating the entire textbook or replicating the entire synopsis into their notes. Whenever you face that problem, always keep telling yourself, you should just know enough to write a 15 marker. Okay, just enough. That should be the limiting aspect to you. Alright, next. Then the next trap usually people fall under is perfect notes. Everyone wants to make perfect notes. If you are trying to make a perfect note, then that itself is a flaw. Okay, please do not fall under this myth of your notes should be perfect or your notes should cover everything. There cannot be any notes that can cover anything. Okay, I'm sorry, everything. So it is okay that if you are letting go of 2-3 points here and there, that is fine. That is not the issue at all. But there should be some crisp notes made on every bullet point in the syllabus. That should be the end goal. The goal is not to make perfect notes. The goal is to have some notes. Got it? So do not try to achieve perfection. Do not try to sit for months together and try to collect all the data and keep dumping it there. Okay? That will obviously, once you are finished with all the bullet points, let us say that you have dumped all the data in that, you will not be able to revise. It will become another textbook. Okay? It might as well read the textbook then. It is not useful. Okay, so do not try to go under the objective of trying to achieve a perfect notes. That is not possible, and that should not be the case also. Okay, so this is more or less an idea that you should have when it comes to note making. Okay, the next thing is importance of answer writing. See, again, people keep telling whether we need to start writing answers from the beginning, should I finish everything and then write. At Insights, we always, as I've already told you, from the beginning you need to keep writing answers, and that is how it is. Who is stopping you from writing an answer once you finish a particular chapter? Yes, I do know that you people are going to write a bad answer, but write the answer. The main goal of writing answers from the beginning is to break that barrier in your mind. Your mind is resistive, thinking that if you write an answer, you are going to write a bad answer. But tell yourself that you are writing a bad answer. You want to write a bad answer, because that is the starting point. Everyone starts by writing a bad answer, and the more and more they keep writing, it evolves to become a good answer and a better answer. So the point we are trying to make is the importance of answer writing is start writing answers. Enjoy the process of answer writing. Do not worry about how good I am writing or how bad I am writing. Okay, keep writing answers. Don't worry about I am taking this much time to write, or my content is not that good, I have still not developed that content. Alright, so see, content develops over a period of time. So the more and more you keep writing answers, your answers will develop or evolve from a generic answer and becomes more specific. Alright, but the more and more number of times you keep writing, okay, the more and more number of times you keep writing over a period of time, your presentation also improves. So one is you are studying to improve the content part, but you are writing many number of times to improve the presentation part. So content and presentation both together is equally important in mains. Are you getting it? Because there comes a time where you are going to face such questions where you will not have much content on it. So if you have to write an answer or make up an answer there with minimal content in your head, obviously you need, your presentation is the one that saves you. Got it? And that's how you might have observed it. That is how things happen. So both content and presentation should be given equal emphasis. Got it? So that is the next point that I am trying to make. When you are writing answers, don't just concentrate on content. Don't try to think that my answer will stand out from the rest of the country on the basis of content. That is a wrong strategy. Okay, if that is the case, maybe you are going to write 1 extra point or 2 extra point. Okay, maybe because of that you are going to get 0.5 extra marks. But if you are giving equal emphasis on content and presentation, let us say that with minimal content you are able to present it much more better in a simplified format with very good handwriting, very good spacing between lines and words, you will end up getting 2 marks better than others in every answer. Obviously a differential that is much greater is created. Got it? So do not just chase behind content. There should always be an equal emphasis on content as well as presentation. Always make sure that you have it in your mind when you're following this. And for the presentation to evolve, for presentation to be at a very good place, you need to keep writing from the beginning. It's okay if you start from bad, you will evolve to become, you will evolve to write much more good and better answers. Okay. And the next is time management. See, at the beginning, do not worry about the time management. One answer, if the actual ideal case is 9 minutes, and if you are taking 15 minutes, in the beginning, it is fine. Don't worry about it. You keep writing and enjoying the process of answer writing. You focus mainly on content and presentation aspect. Do not worry about the time. Okay, but always have it in your mind that there should be gradual progression towards the ideal scenario. So you cannot keep taking 15 minutes, for 3 months together. The more and more you keep writing, gradually you try to reduce. Okay, for 3 to 4 days I wrote for 15 minutes. Then after that, week 2 I came to 13 minutes. Week 3 I came to 10 minutes. So in that way you gradually move to 9 minutes rather than breaking your head in the first case itself that I want to write an answer for 9 minutes. Alright. So time management comes more towards the end rather than at the beginning at all. Are you getting it? That's the point I'm trying to make. So basically try to write the answers from the beginning. It is okay if you write a bad answer. Always have equal emphasis on content and presentation, and time management comes at the end. But you have to make sure that the time management comes. Okay, don't skip it. Don't think that in the exam I will concentrate on 9 minutes, now let me take 2 minutes extra. That should not be the case. Before you go to the exam, whatever test series you are writing, you have to come to that scenario where you are finishing the answers in 9 minutes. Alright. So the next slide is importance of test series. See, the first thing is always you need to make sure that you put yourself in exam like conditions. The reason for this is you will try to feel what the pressure of writing an answer within the time constraint is. You will come across several questions where you will have very less information but how to write a good answer. So all these tricks, all this smartness will only come if you simulate that exam like conditions. So whenever you are taking a test series, be very, very serious about it. Do not try to write 5 answers in the morning and 5 answers in the evening. Please make sure that you sit for 3 hours, you give that exam like conditions and you write very seriously. That is the first thing. This is very important. The next thing is the completion of the paper. See, before completion of the paper itself was one of the important criteria. Now completion of paper has become a norm. Each and every student who is going into mains, more or less everyone is completing the paper. The reason is the competitiveness is increased and everyone is writing answers now. So you being at that stage cannot come out and tell that I did not complete the paper. Unless you don't know anything about that particular question, then it is fine. But otherwise, please make sure that you always complete the paper. That is why time management before you go to the mains exam, it should come to that ideal limit. Okay. The third thing is again content and presentation. See, when you are writing the tests, you will come across several questions where you don't have many information about it. So the moment you are looking at that question, don't skip that and move to the next one. Always make sure that even if you have very minimal content or even if you don't know the content but can use common sense, try to write the answer using presentation. Okay, with minimal content, with different interlinkages, try to make sure that you use the presentation to make up for the lack of content. See, sometimes students will develop such aptitude that even if there is minimal content, they will try to write an answer by interlinking different things. They are interlinking different things because they don't have exact content of what is being asked. That is from a student's perspective. From an examiner's perspective, it will look like that student has given a multi-dimensional answer. So you should develop a trick to give that impression to the examiner, and that impression will come when you are writing a lot of tests and when you are attempting questions even though you don't have much content in them. So please make sure that you keep trying to compensate this presentation to offset for the lack of content. Okay, that is the third point. And the fourth point I want to make is value addition. See, whatever mains tests that you take and after writing the answer, things getting evaluated, you obviously will get the synopsis. So take that synopsis. Once you read that synopsis, two things will happen. One, people will just read the synopsis and throw it, or people will read the synopsis, mark everything in the synopsis and keep it with them so that they want to revise. Both are wrong strategies. See, you are throwing it because most of the value added material that is there in the synopsis is missing out. So please don't throw it. Okay, people have worked hard in order to create a synopsis. So please make sure that take that particular fodder material that are there in the synopsis. Next is, if you keep filing all the synopsis at the end, let us say that you wrote per paper you have written 10 tests, so you have 40 papers there, 40 synopsis. You cannot revise 40 synopsis in the last 1 week of the exam. Okay, it becomes very hectic, and if you feel that you are revising that way, it is not effective. Okay, so always if you once after writing that particular test, let us say that you are now reading the synopsis as a solution. After reading the synopsis as a solution, only those things from that particular question which you feel that you want to add, bring those things into your notes. Okay, it may take some time, but bring those things to your notes and then throw the synopsis. So your notes is getting enriched. Okay, so your notes is getting enriched, and in this notes, the more and more you write the test series, the notes keeps adding more and more value. Okay, so at the end you can revise just your notes, and that notes itself will become the final set for you to write the answers for. Okay, so this is the importance of test series. Okay, the next is the importance of optional. Alright, so basically if you have seen more or less all the students who are making it to the final list, if you see the scores that they are getting in optional, it is closer to 300. Either their score is 290s or it's in 300, 310, somewhere there. There are people who have gone more than 320, that is another case. There are people who have got in with 270, 280, they are another case. It is very less number, but most of the people who are getting into the final list are scoring somewhere between 290 to 305. So what does this show? This shows that optional plays a very dominant role in your mains preparation. Okay, you have to have that competency to get 300 score nearby in order to make it to the final list. Maybe you are scoring 260, 270 consistently, that may take you to the interview. Luckily you may get into the list, but if you want to make sure that there is a foolproof method to get into the list, that means that you should have that competency to get the 300 plus in optional. The point I am trying to make here is optional plays an important role. Okay, so please do not neglect optional. Okay, now in optional, usually please analyze the previous year questions. That plays actually a very important part. Okay, do not try to read blindly. Don't try to take up any classes without actually analyzing the previous year papers. Analyzing the previous year papers will tell you what are the dominant chapters in every sections. Okay, and every chapter will have some priority areas that UPSC keeps repeating the questions. And it is here that you need to work a little bit extra apart from other topics. Got it? Don't take every topic in the optional and try to, go an extra level and try to do research. If you are doing that, one, you will take a lot of time to finish the optional preparation. Okay. Two, you are doing things where there is very minimum returns. Okay. That's a very wrong strategy. So always analyze the previous year questions. Usually from 2019 to 2012 is enough. So once you are analyzing, you are trying to find out what are the chapters in every section that are actually very important, that are actually favorite of UPSC. And the second thing is, every chapter, what are those areas that UPSC likes, or those areas where the topics are recurring or repeatedly being asked. By knowing this, and whenever you are studying, you know in your head even before you study that these are the topics that UPSC likes, or these are the topics that there are high probability of questions coming. So it is in these topics that you need to do some extra research, and other topics you should know the basics properly. Got it? So this should be the main strategy to go about things. Okay. Now coming to the notes part of optional, notes plays a very important role in optional. Okay, because you will not have very much time to revise. Okay, you should have a very crisp notes that is being that should be made. Now again, what happens here is, usually students will try to do a perfect notes. They are going to take 10 sources and they tell themselves that from the 10 sources I am going to read the 10 sources and I am going to make sure that all the good points from the 10 sources come into my notes. That's a very wrong strategy. If you are doing that, for one chapter you are going to take 1 month to complete the notes. Do not follow that strategy. The strategy should be, you have analyzed the previous year papers, you know what are the priority chapters, what are the priority topics. Now you are going to take whatever one course or one material. From that material you are going to understand all the topics in the syllabus. Listen to this, you are going to understand all the topics in the syllabus. Don't skip any topics, understand all the topics in the syllabus and make notes on all the topics in the syllabus in such a way that there should be something about everything in the notes. That is, some content on every topic in the syllabus. Got it? It is okay that you have missed out on some points. It is okay that some topics may not have very good notes from whatever material that you are referring. In the first round, that is fine. The first round, the main objective of yours is to finish one comprehensive reading of the entire optional and then making notes of all the topics that are there in the syllabus. That should be your first goal. And once that goal is done, that means that you are there at one level. You have reached that level. That level is, I have finished reading all the topics that are there in the syllabus and then I have made some notes about it. Okay, it may not be the perfect notes, but I have some notes ready. So that will actually equip you to gain more and more value. That will actually equip you to write answers, and whenever you keep writing answers, you can add value to a particular topic. That can actually, from that level you can go topic wise and research and add value to that particular notes. Are you getting it? So because now you know priority chapters and priority topics, and because your basic notes are ready, now you can do research, okay, on a particular topic that you feel that is very important and add value to it. Okay, so first and foremost, don't try to take 10 sources or multiple sources and make notes. Take one complete source that is giving a comprehensive knowledge of all the topics in the syllabus and read that to have an idea what your option is all about and make a basic notes ready. From there you move on to the other things. Okay, the next is, as I told you, you should never try to achieve a perfect notes. There is no perfect notes. Okay, the notes should cater to your needs. The notes should be UPSC savvy. Alright, the notes, always tell yourself, the note should help me write a 15 marker, nothing more than that. Got it? The next is answer writing to previous year questions. See, this is actually one of the best methods how you can enrich your notes. Once you have your basic notes ready, what you do is take the previous year question from 2019 to 2013. So all these previous year questions, it's good that if you have segregated it chapter wise, or you get some material in the market that has segregated that particular thing, questions chapter wise. Now whenever you finish a chapter and you have made the basic notes ready, try to write answers on it. Okay, again when you are writing answers to the previous year questions, don't try to think I am going to write a bad answer or will I be able to write an answer. It doesn't matter. Okay, but keep writing answers. So keeping a book exclusively to write answers of previous year questions chapter wise is actually a very good exercise. Now once you write that answer of all the previous year questions, don't throw that book. That particular chapters, whatever answers that you have written, becomes an addition to the notes that you have already been made. Okay, in that way you are enriching your notes by adding value to it. The next thing is taking up test series for that particular optional. You either take up a test series or you can get questions that are being made online. So either ways you do it. Once you take the test series, again you take the test series and write answers. when you're writing answers, content and presentation should be given equal emphasis. The same thing which we discussed before. Let it run through your mind again. Okay, answer writing should not be just on the basis of content, both content as well as presentation. The next is value addition. When I say value addition, obviously when you take a test series and write answers, they will give you the synopsis, even in optional. Again, the synopsis here, don't try to club the synopsis or don't try to throw the synopsis. Take the synopsis, only the value additions, add it to your notes. In that way, your basic notes is getting enriched, one by adding the answers of previous year questions and also by adding value from the synopsis that you are getting from the test series. In this way, you have to, enrich your notes. There should be a gradual step of basic notes, adding value and making sure that, things are covered comprehensively, okay, step by step. So, this is more or less the approach to optional, correct? So, the next slide is working smartly. See, in UPSC, as I told you, if you are trying to create a differential, thinking that I am going to write an answer where content wise my answers is going to stand apart compared to others, then that is foolishness. Okay, you cannot win solely on the basis of intelligence. So thinking that you are the most intelligent person and hence you are going to clear this exam is not the proper way to go. Now, the way to go is understand the demand of UPSC and orient your studies on the basis of the demand and try to get only that much content that will help you write an answer for 15 marker. Oh, this should be the overall strategy for you. Having this in mind will help you, whatever you do things smartly. Okay. So that is the first thing. So if I take the case study of world history, alright, so in world history what happens, because there is, whenever you are reading world history, this is most of the students face this issue. Whenever you are studying world history, it gives you a sense of enjoyment. You are overwhelmed by the amount of information that you are getting, that you start spending more and more time on that particular subject. But in reality, that's, what is the return on that investment? It is very low. Alright, so you are going to be asked one question on world history, and if you are studying so many sources, obviously you are wasting so much time. So please make sure that you don't do it. So do not try to get overwhelmed by the information. Alright, do not try to do research or master that particular subject because that is not required. Understanding the demand and knowing that you just need enough content for a 15 marker should help you restrict yourself from trying to overdo on the content part. That is one smartness that you have to show. The next thing is how much content is enough content. Two questions should always come to your mind. The first question is, always ask yourself, whenever you are studying something, can I use this particular fact in the answer writing? Can I use this in my answer? Okay, if yes, then go ahead and read it. Otherwise, skip it. The second thing you need to ask yourself is, I just need content to write a 15 marker, nothing more than that. So when you keep telling yourself these two things, that will help you to limit yourself in trying to collect more content from the sources. Okay. The next thing is, have a book that mainly concentrates on facts, examples, diagrams, flowcharts and anecdotes. See, if you have observed the topper's book, any topper's copy that you have seen, you observe that from their essay to GS1 to 2, 3, 4, they keep using the same examples here and there. They keep using the same facts in a lot of places. The reason that they are doing it is they are very smart, right? So they have some, very restricted set of examples, restricted set of quotes, restricted set of case studies, but they are smart enough to use it in all the papers. For example, they may use the same example for integrity in ethics. They may change that particular example a little bit and use it in paper 2 of governance. They may change that and use it in essay. Got it? In that way, you have to be very smart. You cannot, expect to collect all the facts or all the, examples that are there. So you should learn that smartness. So have a book that collects all this information and don't try to overdo it. Okay. Have something about everything. Alright. And keep trying to use that in all the papers. So that is another thing that you have to know. And whenever you are working in mains, always follow this rule. That is minimum and maximum rule. That is, you are putting minimum efforts, but the output is maximum. The returns is maximum. You should always have this ideology. Okay. Minimum efforts, maximum returns. So it should always be the case for your preparation. Okay. So see, the point we are trying to make here is smartness is as important as your intellectual value. Okay. Just being intelligent will not take you there. You have to be a little smart. Got it? The next, coming to the essay practice. See, the first thing first is read the topper's essay once. There are a lot of topper's essay. So try to go through these topper's essay. When you go through this topper's essay, again, don't start feeling depressed looking at their content. Don't start feeling that I don't know so much content, they are writing such beautiful content. Please do not do this. This is again a wrong strategy. When we say look at toppers essay, the main objective of ours is look at how they are presenting things. See, content will eventually build up over a period of time when you are also studying. Before you write your mains exam, you would also have developed so much content in your head that you will also write similar essay. So please do not worry about the content part. But when it comes to this presentation, look at the presentation. Look how well they are presenting the essay. Look at how the person, he or she is introducing that essay, how he or she is concluding that essay, what are the subheadings, what are the spacing between lines, what are the spacing between words, what are the different codes that they are using, how are they introducing examples into it. These are the things we need you to observe. Okay, so make sure that you read you read some toppers essay to have an idea of the presentation part. Content is well and fine, that will come to you, but read the presentation part. Okay, and one more thing we need to do is you need to keep writing. Again, break that barrier. Okay, now again the question comes whether I should start from the beginning or not. Start. Okay, take a topic and then just write. It is okay if you write rubbish in the beginning. Okay, no one will worry about it, and don't think someone will look at your essay and laugh at it. No one will laugh. It really doesn't matter. Okay, but write the essay and start writing the essay. So in the beginning you will not have much content. So you will write unwanted things, but that is okay. You have broken the first barrier of overcoming that resistance of writing. Okay, because you are fearing that I am going to write a bad essay, you are resisting it. So if you tell yourself that I am anyway going to write a bad essay, then that resistance is gone and you are going to write it. Okay, so start writing. It is okay if you write bad, but please, believe us that the more and more you keep writing, you yourself will improve. Okay, after writing, read. See, I'll tell you how to self-evaluate. The moment you finish your essay, take 2 minutes and then read your essay again from the beginning. There itself you will start, you're introspecting so many wrong things that you have done there. You will start feeling I shouldn't have done this. I should have done this better. So that itself is called introspection that helps you improve. Okay, and that introspection to improve will come only if you start writing. All right. So please make sure that you keep writing and then keep collecting data. Now again, don't try to overdo. As I told you, you should keep collecting data in a very structured format. So for example, create some themes. Okay, create some themes. Science is a theme, women empowerment is a theme. So like that political is a theme, ethics is a theme. So like that, create some 10 themes, and maybe whenever you come across different things, keep putting, for example, you came across a quote that you seem that it is more oriented towards science or education. So put it under science. So in that way, try to keep collecting data in a structured format. Please don't try to overdo it. Okay. And last and the most important aspect is keep it simple. Okay, see, simplicity is actually reflecting your clarity in mind, right? So the more clarity that you have over a concept, the greater the simplicity you are going to represent it in your answer. Okay, so your answers is simple reflects that you have conceptual clarity. So in essay, the more you keep it simple, the greater the chances of getting higher marks. Okay, so always make sure that you keep it simple. Fine. The last part is value addition through different sources. Now, obviously during that period, the 3-month period, you are getting so much of information from so many different sources that you don't know what to read. There is Yojana, there is Kurukshetra, there is Rajya Sabha TV, there is so many things, what to do and what not to. See, again, the basic is, do not get, don't be anxious. Okay, you have done your basic part right, then the value addition part comes. Okay, the basic part is, on every bullet point I have done my notes and it is ready. The next is value addition through different sources. So what is see, during that particular exams, you are coming across so many different sources. For example, you have Yojana, you have Kurukshetra, you have Rajya Sabha TV, you have so many things that, you are feeling that you want to do. First thing first is, you are done with your basic notes, right? You have attacked all the bullet points and you have made notes on it. Topic wise bullet points, descriptive like bullet points, you have the basic notes ready. So the different sources that are now coming to you, the approach should always be value addition. Okay, the approach should always be value addition. It should not be that you are replicating the entire thing and putting it in your notes. That should not be the case. Value addition means what? You are going to only take examples, maybe definitions, maybe case studies or facts. That's all. So if you, let us say that if you are reading an article in Yojana, the first thing that you need to do is look at the index and see if there is any topic that can be or probably can be asked in the exam. Okay, so go to such particular topics and not more than 5 to 10 minutes you should take to finish that article. And you are not trying to take the literature from that particular article, you are only trying to take the facts, examples and case studies. So that should be the approach. Okay, how much is enough? Again, just a 15 marker, nothing more than that. So I'm going to take only a fact, maybe examples or case studies, that's it, nothing more, or I'm not going to spend more time on it. So you take that examples, put it in your notes, that's it. You're not going to spend more time on this value addition through different sources. Please do not try to read multiple sources on a particular subject, multiple sources on a particular topic. Please don't do that. Okay. So that is one of the mistakes that students usually do. Fine. Alright. Now let us get into the crux of this video session. The main objective was basically to know how to strategize our mains preparation during the time between prelims and mains. The 3-month period, the time duration that we get, what should be our strategy for mains preparation, correct? Now see, before we get into that, two things I want to clarify. The first thing is, let us say that you have finished your prelims. It is okay that you take some break. Let us say you take a 4 or 5 day break or a week break, that is fine. But irrespective of what marks you are speculating to get in prelims, okay, please make sure that you begin your mains preparation. You begin your mains preparation with an attitude that you are going to clear prelims and you are going to write mains, irrespective of what marks it is. Okay, that is actually very important. Okay, I don't have enough time for me to explain why it is important, but please have that attitude irrespective of what marks you get. The second thing that you should know is, see, here usually in Insights we have seen a lot of students. So with a lot of students we have given you 3 scenarios. Okay, I am going to tell you 3 scenarios. 3 scenarios as 3 different strategies of how to go about mains preparation in that 3-month gap. Okay, so we are giving 3 scenarios because we can classify all the students that come to Insights into these 3 scenarios. Okay, but what I want to clarify is, people from all the 3 scenarios have cleared this exam. Okay, there has been people from all the 3 scenarios who have cleared this exam. Okay, from Insights community itself. So irrespective of which scenario that you fall under, it really doesn't matter. But it's just that what strategy or approach that you need to take is what matters. So irrespective of what scenario you fall under, you can clear this exam. Okay, that is the second thing I want to make it clear. Okay, now coming to the first scenario. Okay, the first scenario we call it as best case scenario because the preparation is more compared to the other scenarios. Okay, you are well prepared, well equipped. That is why we call it best case scenario. So when I talk about optional essay and general studies, how to go about this we just discussed. Okay, we just discussed a few minutes back. So I'm not going to get into the depth of how to go about things, but what should be your readiness when you come to the best case, when you have to come to the best case scenario of the 3-month gap is, one, when you take optional, one reading of all the topics in the syllabus should be done and basic notes should be ready. That is the first thing. The next, let us say you have taken essay, you might have not written the best essay from your side, but you have been writing essay every week. Let us say that you have done that. The next is general studies. One reading is done on all the bullet points and basic notes is ready. So let us say that this much is done before the prelims and you have written the prelims and now you have to start your mains. So you have already been well prepared. If this is the scenario that you fall under, this is the best case. Okay, this is the best case, and in that case your approach should be revise, write and repeat. Okay, the main approach is revise, write and repeat. Keep it very simple. Okay, studying should be very minimal. You are revising these notes again and again and you are adding value to these notes again and again. I have already told you how to do it, so we will not dwell into it again. So you are going to revise it again and again, you are going to keep writing the answers, you are going to keep writing tests and you are going to repeat the entire process. So revise, write. As you keep writing, your notes gets enriched. Okay, so as you keep revising, your content and presentation keeps improving. So these two are feeding each other, they are actually helping each other out. Okay, so you are going to keep repeating these two. Okay, so your main approach, if you are there in the scenario 1, is revise, write and repeat, nothing else. You keep revising, writing answers, repeating it, both for optional as well as general studies. Okay, so in a week you can categorize as 2 days I am going to do GS1, then write an answer, test, 2 days GS2, write a test, and between this you are going to also keep writing tests of optional. So in that way you can actually do it, but write as much as possible, a lot of test series. Okay, so this is scenario 1 and the approach is very simple: revise, write. That revision will help you write better answers, and writing more answers will give you value addition from content and presentation aspect. So keep doing this again and again. Alright. The next is scenario 2. Okay, in scenario 2 is what happens is, optional part you have done one reading, basic notes is ready, essay you have not practiced that much. Okay, you have not been practicing that much, general studies you have not done completely. Okay, your general studies part is actually lagging behind. Okay, so this is the second scenario that you may fall under, where optional you have taken the class, you have studied the material, your basic notes is ready. Essay is something you have not practiced much, and GS, some topics you have done very well, some topics you have not done. Or some students tell prelims part of whatever is overlapping with mains I have done and other parts I have not done. And this scenario is where majority of the people stand under. I mean, they fall under. Okay. So how to go about this? What should be the strategy for this? See, the approach is again simple. For optional, since one reading is done and one basic notes is ready, follow the revise, write, repeat strategy. Okay. For optional, you follow the strategy of revise, write and repeat. That is, you are revising the same notes, you are writing the test series. The test series is helping you improve the content and presentation, value addition into your notes, and you are repeating the entire cycle again and again. GS, what happens is, see, GS has something called study and write. Okay, so basically, since general studies you are not done completely, you study. See, usual scenario is in the 3-month gap, studying should be very minimum. Okay, but since your general studies is not done completely, let us say in the 3-month, take 1 month time. In the first 1 month, you try to study and write, make a notes of it. Okay, try to study and make as whatever notes that is possible. How to make notes we have already discussed, right? So try to study, keep the sources very simple, keep the sources to the minimum, and write. Make note. When I say study, it is reading it. When I say write, it is making notes. Okay, in the first 1 month, try to complete this. Okay, the general studies aspect, try to complete this in the first 1 month. And the next 2 months you are again coming back to this cycle. So your main purpose in the 3 months is to reach to this cycle as soon as possible. As soon as possible you have to get into that cycle of revise, write, repeat. Revise, write, repeat. So whatever is possible, try to make to get into that cycle. Okay. So in this scenario too, because general studies is not that complete, so study and write, you try to finish as fast as possible in the first 1 month, and as soon as that is done, get into the cycle of revise, write and repeating things. Okay, so this is a scenario 2, and this is where most of the students, at least whom we have encountered, fall under. So I hope how you know how to go about it. Okay, so this is scenario 3. Okay, so basically scenario 3 is where a lot of freshers usually face this problem. Okay, so this is where, see, one optional is not done completely. Okay, essay you have not written a lot of essays. General studies also you have not done completely. What happens with the freshers is they have just come into the preparation, they have just gotten exposed to the basics and fundamentals, they have studied everything, and in the 2 months period of prelims they have exclusively studied for prelims and they have cleared prelims. So they have cleared prelims, but now they don't know what to do with mains. So basically this is the scenario that they fall. Okay, so in that case what needs to be done? Okay, in that case, if scenario 3 is the part that you will fall under, then the approach should be for optional. Okay, approach should be for optional, study and write. That is, now optional, whatever topics that is left or whatever topics that has not been done, make sure that you take, see, here again segregate. I told you the end goal is for you to get into this cycle. Okay, the end goal is to get into this cycle. So as soon as possible to get into this cycle, you need to study and make notes. So when it comes to optional, try to study, okay, keeping again minimal sources, try to make notes out of it, and then get into this cycle as soon as possible. I would say take 1.5 months. Okay, so finish the optional and try to get into the cycle of revise, write and repeat. Now in the same 1.5 months you are doing 2 things. One, you are doing optional part, another is you are doing GS part. Okay, now here in the GS part, obviously we cannot make notes because you are now completely coming into the mains preparation without any idea of mains. Please do not try to make, I would not suggest you to go ahead and make notes here, alright, because you may end up writing a lot of things that is actually not needed. So in that way, what usually students do is you need to work smartly, okay, and you need to use that rule called minimum maximum rule, that is with minimum efforts with maximum returns. So that should always be the idea, okay. So basically what we would suggest is try for every topic, if it is possible, try to see in the internet, try to do research and have a soft copy of it. Or let us say that on a particular topic there is ready-made notes available in the market, you get that ready-made notes and try to read it and try to make some block diagrams or flowcharts there itself and keep it. In a way, try to cover everything. Though your general studies is not done completely, I am not telling you to skip anything. When I say work smartly, it doesn't mean that skip some things and study some things. You are going to do everything, alright, you are going to do everything only to an extent that I can write a good answer. Got it? So that is what working smartly means. Got it? So basically note making cannot be done. So for first 1.5 months, what you need to concentrate upon is trying to read, trying to select a source and trying to read that particular source, so that on every GS topics that are there, you are going to select and you have finished reading that particular source. Okay. So when you are selecting that particular source and when you are reading that particular source, always have these two things in mind. One is working smartly and having minimum maximum rule. Okay. So once you are done with that, let us say 1.5 months, you are on optional, you are studying on this part, that is you are studying and writing. On GS you are working on this part. Okay. This is in the first 1.5 months. The next 1.5 months you should get into this cycle. Okay. I told you, the faster you get into that cycle, the greater the probability of you clearing mains. So you are always, your goal should always be to get into the cycle of revise, write and repeat. Okay. So first 1.5 months with respect to GS and optional, you are trying to, make up for all the inadequacy in the content part, and then you are getting into the cycle the last 1.5 months to revise, write and repeat. Okay. So basically these are the three scenarios. You people decide which scenario that you fall under, and then strategize and then go on with your preparation. Okay. But again, I want to make it clear, either of the scenario you fall under, it really doesn't matter, because it is only that your approach changes. Okay. Just because you fall in scenario 3 doesn't mean that people have not cleared from scenario 3. There are a lot of examples from inside itself who have cleared this exam from scenario 3. All the three scenarios, we have toppers who have gone from these scenarios to clear this exam. Okay. So whatever scenario that you fall under, you still can clear this exam. Alright. Fine. So see which scenario you fall under and then strategize accordingly. Alright. The next is the final thoughts. See, as I told you, nothing is impossible actually. Whichever scenario you fall under, always believe in yourself and you still can clear this exam. Okay. So the reason why I keep repeating this in my entire video session is, always remember, you want content to write a 15 marker, that's all, nothing more. So this thing in your mind will actually help you to limit the amount of sources that you study and the amount of content that you will research. Okay. So do not try to give, get more and more content into your notes. Just tell yourself that you just need content to write a 15 marker. That should always be the mantra. Okay. The next is, presentation is as important as content. Okay. Again, I am telling you, it is not the person who is most intelligent that is going to clear this exam. It is the person who can balance both presentation as well as content. Okay. You cannot create a greater differential by telling that I am going to write a answer that content wise is so very much greater than the other people. Okay. So do not fall into the trap. You should always write it in a way that it is addressing the demand of the question, but you are making sure that the answer is expressed in a way that is actually impressing the examiner as well. That impression to the examiner is a mark of respect to the examiner that will actually give you more marks. Okay. So always have it in your mind that presentation is as important as content. Give equal emphasis. Finally, see, believe in your notes and believe in yourself. The reason why I keep telling you is, whenever you are making notes, there is that insecurity in your subconscious mind that keeps telling you, is this enough? Is my notes enough? Am I missing out on different points? Is it necessary that I go and read some other things? Okay, there are instances where you create your notes and then you throw your notes and read the book again. You start feeling that my book is, let me study that book, what if I miss on 2-3 points? These are scenarios that everyone faces, but at that scenario, tell yourself that your notes is enough. Believe in your notes, and then that will help you believe in yourself. And the more and more number of times you read the same notes, believe me, your answers will be much better. Okay, so always make sure that you believe in your notes. That will help you that will help you believe in yourself. Okay. The next is, keep it very simple. As I've already told you, simplicity is something that is not that common. Okay, if you are able to keep the answer simple, if you are able to express something very simple in a very simple manner, that just means that you have clarity in your mind, and this even examiner knows, right? So if you are able to express to that examiner the demand of the question in the greater, in the much more simpler the form, the greater the chances to get more marks. Got it? So simplicity is something that comes with conceptual clarity. So always make sure that you keep it simple. Do not complicate things. Okay. Finally, enjoy a little. Right. See, that is the main goal. Right. So when you are preparing, do not put yourself under miserable conditions. Okay. Don't. For example, if you are writing answer, enjoy that process of answer writing. Okay, so if you tell that I am going to write a bad answer and then you keep writing answers, then you will enjoy that process and then you will start improving gradually. If you are writing an essay, it is okay that if you write a bad essay. So if you tell that to yourself and start enjoying that process of essay writing, then you will enjoy it, then you will improve gradually. So it is necessary that you enjoy this process of preparation. Okay, do not try to force yourself to think that you're doing something that is out of ordinary. Okay, always try to enjoy what you're doing. Okay, finally the revise, write and repeat. See, that becomes the crux of your preparation, and that becomes the crux for your success. Always, in order to revise, you need to have minimal notes ready. Okay, and that notes, once you keep repeating and repeating, your answers will become more specific, your answers will become more effective. Okay, and the greater and greater you write, your presentation keeps improving. Got it? And the greater and greater you write different test series, you will get more and more value addition that you can add into your notes. Got it? So these two things becomes paramount importance, and hence you keep repeating these two again and again. Okay, so the end goal is always to get into the cycle of revise, write and repeat as soon as possible. That should always be the case in the 3-month gap that you have between prelims and mains. So that is the main essence of this particular video. Okay, so finally I hope that it's been informative. We have been receiving a lot of questions on this, and I hope you have some type of decision making ability right now, and some type of orientation of how to go about your mains preparation in the 3 months period. Alright, so finally thank you for listening to this video lecture. I hope it has been helpful. Again, please stay home, stay safe and stay healthy. Alright, thank you guys, bye.